So let's dive back into our first soundtrack. Beautiful piece of music, Eliza, produced by fantastic music producer Chase Moore, who happens to be my son. And this particular piece, we just explored it in the beginning, just getting our hands working. I want to revisit this for just a few minutes to see if we can fill out the experience. Just going to take it just to the very next level. No rush here. One of the reasons why it's very important to spend more time talking about this is that when we can actually experience improvising, where we're not learning a specific song, and when we're learning a specific song, we're going to be talking about play this note and then play that note and then play this note. So we're specifically telling you what exact notes to play and what exact rhythm to play it with. When we're improvising, we've got a whole different level of freedom. It's coming from ourselves, and it's very important to develop that ability. It's just like speaking, if you could just think of it in terms of speaking, and I'll talk more about this a little later. But one of the things that's tremendously important, when we just sit down, and I'd love for you to find just a few minutes, even 2 or 3 minutes every day, and just think of this as really important, critical mental nutrition, critical creative nutrition. The ability for you to just sit down and just allow yourself to play freely has an enormous impact on our brains. And it stimulates and nourishes our creativity. And there are very few things that we could do to support us, particularly in the world we're heading towards, than developing our creativity. It's a very important thing, and I'd love for you to find a few minutes a day and explore being able to improvise. We're going to revisit this conversation as we move through the Music and Creativity program, or I call it the MAC program. As we move through it, I'm going to keep talking about returning to improvising, and I'm going to be giving you lots of different fantastic soundtracks to work with in order to do that. And for now, I want to revisit Eliza. So I'm going to play the track again. I'm going to show you some things you can do to start to fill out the experience. Let's have a listen. Okay, so we've established our mood. It's got a great sound. And you can imagine now if you've got the earbuds in this instance, I'm actually using a Bluetooth speaker. And I've connected by Bluetooth, and so I like to use this. It's really convenient. You can use whatever sound source you like, but having the Bluetooth speaker is awesome. Now if we have a listen to the soundtrack, we can hear there's a cymbal. That's just setting the rhythm, setting the beat. Now sometimes when it comes to the beat, you don't need to worry about technically what that means, but very often the beat is that thing that you would find yourself naturally nodding or swaying to, or tapping your feet to. And you can help to use it as a guide for what it is that you're playing. So watch here, if I'm just going to put my 5 fingers on 5 black keys, if I'm playing to the beat, it would just be like, bum, bum, bum. We talked about this earlier. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up that speed. Even if you just were to alternate between those beats, I'll just call them singles, bum, 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 and doubles, bum, 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 bum. See if you can work towards getting familiar with just that rhythm. You can do that in your right hand and your left hand. One bit of advice if you're playing with the left hand or if you're playing in the lower notes, if you get down into the real lower notes, sound a bit thick and a bit muddy. And you might find that it just sounds a little cleaner and clearer if you're improvising in the higher notes, around the middle C register and higher. So rhythmically, I've just talked about those singles or those doubles. can move to any position of the keyboard. Watch what I do here. Double, 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 double. I'm just running up my 5 fingers and I'm moving my thumb up and moving each of my fingers up as I do. It's one of those things where as you discover your ability to do this, and as you relax with the process, and as you just let yourself feel the music, you'll find that you don't need to run up all the 5 fingers or down. You can just meander around. Really great process. If you'd like something to do to engage the left hand as well, here's one thing that I could just suggest you do. Just take your thumb and your second finger and put them on these 2 notes. So it's the bottom of the 3 and it's the top of the 2. Now, so you'll notice that I'm not playing the hands as busily as each other. I'm doing fewer notes in my left hand, just occasionally, and I'm playing my right hand a little bit more freely. Now, why am I doing that? Let's not worry about that now. All I really want you to do is to just explore, continuing to develop your improvisation, moving your hands anywhere across the keyboard, and you can even be doing splashes. Okay, so finding a minute or 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, a small dose on a daily basis where you can just sit at the instrument. If you can, earbuds in. If you've got a keyboard, headphones on the top. Really let the music saturate yourself. And as you're doing that, just give yourself the permission to explore. Don't worry about, does it sound great? Do I sound like that particular pianist that I love listening to on those great jazz albums? It's really not about that. You need to bring the same level of patience and the same level of compassion and the same level of fascination that we would do with a very young child who's learning how to speak, where that child's just building a vocabulary and just learning how to put sounds together to formulate words. This is exactly all we're doing here. There's no rush. But it will help you enormously. It's going to help your whole relationship with yourself, your relationship with your musicianship, your relationship with your creativity. If you can find a few minutes to let yourself explore improvisation. And as I said earlier, we're going to be getting into a lot more of this as we move ahead. That's it for now on that one.